It's definitely not perfect, but we're gonna call her good for tonight. Well, it's been at least 3 weeks since the last time I picked up the camera for fence work. I've gotten a little bit further, but not a ton. I went all the way to the corner up there, but then I'm not actually connected in the middle because the hill just makes it a nightmare. But that side is almost done. So this part is all finished. And then I'm still open right here, mostly because I still want to be able to get in and out. And then I have that first stretch done, which I did very first. And then I have this part that I'm working on, but realized I don't have any lag bolts because this board is going to get pushed up against the barn like this. And then there's a support pole in there that I'm gonna screw that to. And then this is where the gate's going. So this part right here is where the gate will be. And now I just have this whole section down to the corner and up. It's a little buggy out now. Hi, baby. All right, it's been another probably 2-week intermission since I've touched this, but I did get a little further. So I have this section to do still, which isn't terribly long. The only downfall is this massive hill. But then we go from this corner post down here only to about midway. Then I can meet them up. We're getting there. My biggest hiccup is gonna be right in here. This is like where the ravine meets on each side, and there's a little bit of like it's a low spot. As you can see, Cody couldn't mow it because it's a little steep. So I'm gonna have to whack through that. I'm almost done with this dang fence. I have very high hopes that I will have animals in it by tomorrow. I'm down to a section of like maybe 30 feet that needs completely closed off. And then the only thing I'll have left to make it good is where it attaches to the barn. So we're getting close. So I have been working on this for quite some time now and haven't really explained anything that I'm doing. But basically, this is called welded wire, this fencing, and it is 2x4 mesh. It's not really the strongest gauge. 14 gauge is what I've been using on most of it. I do not recommend this kind of fencing if this is the only thing you're using as a fence. We are going to be having goats and a pony in here, and whatever else we accumulate, because that's what we do. The reason that this is okay for what I'm doing is because it's not going to be the only barrier. I do plan on adding a line of electric, possibly 2, actually. So if you're using a fence that is not super sturdy, as long as you have something that's going to keep them from pushing on it, there's really nothing wrong with it. So that's what I've used in our other 2 pastures, and it works great. I don't go crazy. I don't do any stretching with it. Basically just make sure it's anchored really well and not super loose in spots. The most important thing is making sure you don't have a big gap. Like right now, that's a big gap. That is not gonna work. I'll have to fill those probably with some loose soil because little goats like to squeeze under that sort of stuff. But that is what the electric is also for. If you've got electric line low enough, then the goat will zap themselves before they get their nose under it. So that usually prevents that. But yeah, I just have to make sure we're wrapped really well on all of the corners And as you can see, I don't use any supports on the corners because I'm really not putting a lot of tension on them. The electric line that I'm going to be running is probably going to put more tension on the poles than this fencing. Oh, that's an onion. Look how pretty. Isn't that cool? Help has arrived. What are you doing? I think we're trapped. You're outside. I'm in. Ten minutes of light left, but I'm done. Done with all of the perimeter. Now I just have to connect up by the barn. So close. And somehow Rev got in the fence and I am out. This project has officially taken 4 months for me to finish. There is no reason that it should have taken that long. You know, life happens and I never really worked straight through on it. So here we are. It's finally, it's holding animals now, you can see, but it's not finished. All of the welded wire is up in place and good to go. So far it held them for 6 days straight. And then I had my first escapee. So we threw in some hot wire in the spot where I seen they were squeezing out. But my plan is to finish the hot wire completely around the entire perimeter. So once that's up all the way, then nobody's going to be getting out anymore. Goats are escape artists, so they need lots of barriers to keep them in. As you can tell, that hot wire is only a few inches off the ground. That is specifically to keep the goats from squeezing under the fence. Right now, the goats are the only thing in it. But we are going to rotate our pastures, so this next round Molly, the pony, is going to be in here. So I will actually have to add a second line that will be about 2.5 to 3 foot off the ground, almost in the middle of the fence. That way she doesn't decide to scratch her butt or her head on the poles. A good 800 pounds, and I don't want her to push the fence down because she has done that before. Cody threw my gate on because he got tired of waiting for me. We just simply used the hardware that came with it and chose not to use any latches because latches are a pain in the butt, I have found out, because of the way the ground shifts with our seasons. It's just really not fun keeping one lined up. So we just decided to go with a chain around the pole and it's worked just fine. You girls enjoying the new fence? Oh, Stampede, look out! Hi, babies! You having a good time?
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And bye. Hi, my name's Miranda, and I like goats.